Three key messages this week. First, a market update post the Brexit bounce. Second, a discussion on the US economy and markets and why we think they're so important. And finally, a comment on developments in the UK commercial property sector. After a frankly unexpected, but nevertheless welcomed bounce in most risk assets post the UK referendum, markets have generally consolidated this week. Equities slightly down, gilts and other forms of government bonds fractionally up, but it feels as though the markets are somewhat consolidating after a very strong rally. So moving on to the US and why we think it's so important. The US comprises 1/5 of global GDP. And in terms of capital markets, roughly 50% of world equities. So it's big. We still live in Uncle Sam's world. After a 6-year recovery, some people are suggesting we might be getting close to a US recession. And the reason why that's important is when there's a US recession, the markets, equity markets, normally fall by a third. So it is significant. But when we look at the US, we look at consumer confidence, we look at the housing market, we look at retail sales, the jobs market, and various business survey confidence. To us, it seems like it's still a low risk of a US recession. Finally, moving on to a major talking point this week, which has been developments in the UK commercial property sector. What has happened this week is the majority of funds have suspended both purchases and redemptions. This is a result of the slightly idiosyncratic nature of this sector, namely that they are buying bricks and mortar, so illiquid commercial property, but they are held within funds that typically offer daily liquidity. So there is a little bit of a conflict there. What has happened this week is they've suspended the trading because there had been an increase in redemptions post the UK referendum. This is not atypical behavior for this sector. In fact, it had happened in 2008. We believe it's a relatively short-term development. We have held commercial property for the vast majority of our clients. It has worked well for us. We continue to believe that this sector offers value, diversification, and quality.